MSNBC's Mika Brzezinski, who is married to the guy that looks like the kid with the banjo up on the bridge in that movie Deliverance. Yeah, she does this report here claiming that there is new, never before seen video that shows that the National Guard was never called on January 6th and that members of Congress were really concerned about that. She's going to show video footage of Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and others where they looked very concerned about what was going on at the Capitol and that they couldn't believe or understand why there was no National Guard there. I want you to remember this throughout the video. What Mika is not telling you is that this mysterious new video footage that you're about to see was actually part of a documentary that Nancy Pelosi's daughter, Alexandra Pelosi, filmed that day. In the video that Mika is going to show you, she pulls a fast one. There's a scene where Nancy Pelosi is talking and complaining about the National Guard not being there. And Mika goes all the way up to a point where she cuts the video because it's damning to Pelosi. But I've got the full video and I'm going to show you. Now, why would the Speaker of the House have her daughter, or anyone else for that matter, bring in a crew to film a documentary on certification day? I don't think that's ever been done before by a Speaker of the House. Was it that these people knew something that we didn't about what was going to happen on that fateful day? Well, this and other things are going to be talked about and answered, and you're not going to want to miss it. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So Mika Brzezinski is doing a hit piece on Trump, which should be listed as an in-kind donation to the Biden campaign, if you ask me. I'm going to play the clip, and I know that some of you guys don't like it when I do this, but I'm going to interrupt when she says something incorrect or just completely bonkers stupid. Pretty much because I can't help myself. Let's give it a watch.
His rally in Las Vegas yesterday, Donald Trump once again suggested he would pardon the January 6th insurrectionists.
Well, first of all, there was no insurrection. I don't know why these cable jackasses can't get that through their head. No one who was arrested for J6 was ever charged with insurrection. There was a 2.5-hour riot that some of the released videos by Speaker Johnson shows police joking around about how firing rubber bullets and tear gas into peaceful protesters makes them angry. All right. Number two, Trump never said he's going to pardon all of the J6 defendants. He said specifically those that had charges like trespassing, right? They had criminal trespassing because the police opened the doors and let them in and they walked around and took selfies. Okay. People like that should not spend 2 years in jail waiting to at least be charged with a misdemeanor. That's who Trump said he would pardon
In a second term, whom he called hostages and victims and warriors. He also accused the Capitol Police, who were brutalized during the attack, of setting up the rioters to be arrested.
He had no choice because he saw the videos.
And then the police say, go in, go in, go in, go on in, everybody, go on in. What a setup that was. What a horrible, horrible thing.
Here we go. Watch this.
As for what actually happened on January 6th, unaired footage we just obtained from congressional sources.
This is the footage that Nancy Pelosi's daughter filmed in a documentary.
Shows top Democratic lawmakers questioning the whereabouts of the National Guard during the January 6th Capitol attack. As the Capitol was being overrun, then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi grilled her chief of staff about the situation as they were evacuated for their safety. Take a look.
You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff
inaugural.
Should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to...
The footage also shows...
Guys, this is unbelievable. He left the part out. Okay, guys, here's the same exact video that Mika just played for you. She left out a really important part. Give it a watch.
We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there. And
it's at the end.
This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with? They saw.
Now, this is what she left out. This person saying they thought that they had sufficient.
Not that they had sufficient
No,
resources.
that is not a question of how they have been. They don't know. They clearly didn't know, and
Watch.
I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
She just took responsibility for the Capitol not preparing for more than what arrived and what happened. Now, you think about that. We have video that came out where Nancy Pelosi takes responsibility for the Capitol not being prepared for the riot that broke out. And yet we have MSNBC trying to get a jump on it by putting the same video out, but cutting out the part where Pelosi takes responsibility for everything that happened.
The footage also shows Pelosi and Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer at Fort McNair speaking on the phone with then Army Secretary Ryan McCarthy and later Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser about the status of their request for help from the National Guard.
Secretary McCarthy and Senator Schumer, we're at Fort McNair. Do you know what's going on? D.C. has requested the National Guard, and it's been denied by DOD. I'd like to know a good goddamn reason why it's been denied. We need them fast. We've all had to, I've never seen anything like this. We're like a third world country here. We had to run and evacuate the Capitol. They have not denied it. I spoke to the Secretary of the Army. He's given the full okay to give the National Guard. He said it was not denied.
Did you hear that, guys? Chuck Schumer was on the phone with the head of the Army, okay? And he said, oh, no, National Guard was not denied. But here's an article from NPR. And look when it was, January 11th, 2021. That's only 5 days after January 6th, when everything was still fresh in everybody's mind. Ex-Capitol Police Chief says requests for National Guard denied 6 times in riots. It says here, the former chief of U.S. Capitol Police says security officials at the House and Senate rebuffed his early requests to call in the National Guard ahead of a demonstration in support of President Trump that turned into a deadly attack on Congress. 1 person died that day. Former Chief Stephen Sund, who resigned his post last week after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi called for him to step down. Oh, really? Made the assertions in an interview with the Washington Post published Sunday. Sund contradicts claims made by officials after Wednesday's assault on Capitol Hill. Sund's superiors said previously that the National Guard and other additional security support could have been provided, but no one at the Capitol requested it. Total lie. In fact, it has been proven now that Donald Trump offered up to 10,000 National Guard troops, but the Sergeant at Arms in the House said no. Sund told the Post that House Sergeant at Arms Paul Irving was concerned with the optics of declaring an emergency ahead of the protest and rejected a National Guard presence. In other words, he didn't want National Guard standing around because the optics would have looked bad. Really? So optics are more important than protecting people at the Capitol. You read it. He says Senate Sergeant at Arms Michael Stengler recommended that he informally request the Guard to be ready in case it was needed to maintain security. Like Sund, Irving and Stengler have also resigned their posts. Sund says he requested assistance 6 times ahead of and during the attack on the Capitol. Each of those requests was denied or delayed, he says. Well, Mika also mentions D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser saying that she wanted National Guard, but she was denied. Well, according to NPR, Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser also wanted a light presence at the Capitol. She reportedly wanted to avoid a similar scenario as last summer when federal forces responded to demonstrators opposed to police abuses who assembled near the White House. Guys, they did a fluff piece on that paragraph, because what that was the BLM radicals that were trying to break through the fence at the White House. They wanted to get in and kill the president and his family. And you want to know something? Over 50 Secret Service officers were harmed trying to defend the White House that day. It says here, during Wednesday's violence, Bowser requested and received a limited force of 340 from the D.C. National Guard. Those troops were unarmed, and their job was to help with traffic flow. Can you believe this? Not law enforcement, which was meant to be handled by D.C. police. So the fake news media is once again attempting to trash Trump and make it look like he's the one who dropped the ball in providing National Guard troops, when he asked the House, the Senate, and the D.C. mayor if they wanted up to 10,000 troops for January 6th, and they all declined. But you just heard Nancy Pelosi take responsibility for it, even though publicly she has blamed Trump. And you watched Mika Brzezinski on MSNBC play the same video all the way up until the point where Pelosi admitted culpability for January 6th. Now you know why we always refer to them as fake news. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and stay vigilant, because the culture war rages on. I'll see you in the next one.
Too many secrets, too many closed doors, we're sick to cover-ups. We're sick of the cover-ups, want the truth.